Cheers.
We're
Cheers.
Double Jake.
We're sharesing.
You take a trip to the dock. Ooh, down the needle hits the skin. Ooh, in a black hole, you can get out if you want it. A black hole, make your way through the darkness. You're in a black hole. You can get out if you want it. A black hole. Make your way through the darkness.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to the Proud to Present podcast.
Hi.
My name is Colton. We are episode number 22, and I have Scattered Melodies featuring Killer Mouse.
Howdy.
Hey.
Hi, people.
Whether you're watching on YouTube, this is a video podcast, or you're listening on iTunes, make sure you hit that subscribe button and come hang out with us. Like I said, our guest today is Scattered Melodies, Phoenix band. You guys have been around for how long now?
Like 5 years?
Yeah, how long
5 or
has it
6?
been?
We've
5
been
years.
working on things for 6 years. We've been
Mhm.
public for 5 years.
Yeah. Our
Or so.
IPO dropped at 0.
I've been keeping an eye on that, actually. I've been trying to keep a steady eye of where that
Get
goes.
in now.
Few things. 2 albums out so
Mm.
far. Modern Repair in 2015 and A Collective Agreement in 2013.
Yeah.
Looks like there's been a few EPs. I know the Summer Sampler came out at one point in there. A couple mixes in there, a couple singles. And then the new album, Patterns, coming out this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
This year,
It's
September
exciting, right?
28th.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh my
Valley
gosh.
Bar.
Make sure
Yeah,
you
I
are
was
at Valley
excited.
Bar, September 28th. A few things this episode. They're going to play a new song for us. Their new single is going to drop Tuesday. I don't know if we decide we're going to release this on Tuesday or Wednesday, but
Ooh.
So either today or yesterday.
yes,
tomorrow.
yes, today or yes. The single is out if you're watching this.
Yeah.
So take a second.
Check it out.
Go get it on iTunes. Go get it wherever you get your music. It's out there. Before we even get into that, though, I want to hit you guys with where you guys got started, because I
Lay it on me.
you guys are a rhythm section. I know the two of you started out on the outside, kind of as a rhythm section. You guys did a lot of things with different artists, and then obviously it sounds like you guys had a collective agreement to do your own thing.
Hey.
Hey.
Wow.
I like that.
Should we give him the saga story? Like, lights
think
go
it's saga
wrong,
Just
time.
like,
do it justice, Jake.
Give me.
I always
the
feel like
credits
Tenacious
for,
D, right?
Yeah.
You need, like,
Star Wars.
how did the band get together song. So yeah, pretty much we started playing back in 2009, was it? Right, the end of 2009 with The Morning After.
Yeah, with the first band.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so we did that for a while, and it was really cool to. It was like a 3-piece reggae band. We definitely got some traction, I would say, in the Valley, playing with other acts around there, and then that didn't work out. So Josh and I still lived together, and kind of thought to ourselves, like, we want to keep doing this. Nothing came about organically.
Right.
Finding a new front person. So Josh had the brilliant idea one day, just be like, why don't we do this ourselves? And I looked at him, I said, why don't we do this ourselves?
Well, actually, we were driving at the time, so it was kind of like, like that, you know.
If you've seen
How's
any of
that
their
car- how's
videos,
that
you
car
know the
look
exact.
now? How's that car look today?
It was a nice moment, though.
It's a nice
That was
moment.
very sweet.
So, and then there was a lot of features early on, right? I mean,
Yeah.
The first 2 albums, was it all features?
Yeah, I mean, the first album was probably like 15 people.
Yeah, I think about that.
The second album, we went a little cray-cray and did 28 featured artists.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
Dear
a
Jeebus.
doozy.
That's crazy. So
We were busy boys.
how does that come about? I mean, do you guys, when you write, do you have a certain artist who you'd like to sing it right away? Is it kind of like, well, you know, it's a female voice, we know that, and go from there? I mean, how do you guys? Is there any motion to the madness?
I think all the above.
Por
Oh,
que
yeah.
los dos.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, nice. That's our new Spanish we learned. Why
like
not
it.
both?
Jake found out this phrase
For those that don't know
3
at
days
home,
ago and has not stopped saying it. This is
It's the
insane.
greatest
Jake
commercial ever.
sponsors the phrase.
New drinking game.
Yeah.
Every time he says it on the podcast.
Watch out.
Um,
Both, yeah, all the above.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I mean, for the first album, Jake and I had been writing songs when we were still in our previous band. So, like the Pride Through Strife song, I was like, okay, this will probably be cool for them. And then we had this other song. It's like, all right, Catfish Mustache. We've always wanted to work with them. So we kind of, like, we had full songs for like half of the record, and then other ones were just parts and ideas, and we'd get together with people. Or like Haley, she brought in Gypsy Girls pretty much finished.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's like
Yeah.
every song was pretty much a different scenario.
Nice. And
So it
so
was
now
cool.
when writing it, I mean, are one of you two singing? Are you guys writing the melodies on the vocal melody on like a?
Not really. No.
No?
Sometimes like lyrics will come about and we'll put those to songs, but a lot of times it's bringing music to people who sing well.
That's great.
Yeah.
We hum like mofos.
Yes.
We're humdingers.
I wish you guys could hear her during the track that you're gonna hear Josh, like the synth lines, like the backing vocals. He's got them all over here, but of course he doesn't want to sing. But it's a killer, man.
I'm a shy boy.
It's killer.
I mean, I like to write lyrics, so sometimes I'll give, like Laura, it's like, hey, I wrote this song about growing up, going to Pennsylvania in the summer. Will you
Right.
sing it? You know,
That's killer.
that kind of stuff. But
But-
for the most part, we let him, like with Kill a Mouse on this record, I mean, he pretty much went wild and did all the lyrics. I'd help him here and there and throw around ideas, but yeah, that was all him.
Well, with that, man, what is your story? What's your background? How'd you get linked up with these two?
Ooh, tell them.
Well, I'm also in a band, Kubi Koo.
Yes.
So we started playing live, and it was just me and Casey, and we really wanted that full sound.
Yep.
And so we got these guys together, and it just clicked. And so we're like, let's do this live.
Right. Right.
So then they started backing us up live, along with Corey Rios. And so we had a lot of fun with that. And then, so that's kind of how we met and how we started jamming together. And then I
I'll just
also
give my
had
2 cents on that.
Yes.
Dude, that live show was a banger. It was
Crescent
so
Ballroom?
good, dude. Crescent
yeah?
Ballroom, their CD release.
We put some
it
time
was-
That was
into
sick.
it.
Oh, yeah. What did we
We
practice
put a
for?
lot of
4
work into
months?
it. Yeah.
Couple
Yeah, every
times.
week.
Yeah,
What's
every week,
crazy
and then
is-
double
Every
up
week.
on it.
Yeah, it was sick.
So you guys played with Kubi Koo for a while. Or
Well,
was
that
this-
was the
we
first
practiced
show.
with Kubi Koo
okay.
for
So,
a while.
it was just one show, but and
it
then
wasn't just one show.
a
No.
few other small.
okay,
We did a couple after, yeah.
and then so then you guys got together with this, and then because though it's a Scattered Melodies record, clearly I mean you produced it, you did have a lot to do with it, and you produced it as well. How does that work with you guys? Do you guys all do it together? Does it kind of change album to album?
Yeah, I'd say it's kind of like an evolving amoeba. Like
Right.
sometimes
Yeah.
some people will have more producing or songwriting, and it just kind of as it comes up, something that Josh and I have done on most of the albums is just like it's Scattered Melodies. No matter who's doing what on it, that's what it is.
That's killer.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The walls are closing in. Ooh, the vision's getting thin. Ooh, you take a trip to the dark. Ooh, time the needle hits the skin. Ooh, in a black hole. You can get out if you want it. A black hole, make your way through the darkness. You're in a black hole. You can get out if
Josh, what's your background musically? Where did you get started? How long have you been doing this?
I mean, I started playing in elementary school in
Nice.
band class. I started on the violin.
Wow.
And then I said, I don't like that.
I was gonna
So-
say I've never
no
seen
do
you
that
pick up
no
a
mo.
fiddle.
Yeah. So I did a huge switch to drums, which I don't know how. My cousin played
Good job.
drums, so I remember that's why I wanted to. I was doing band in school, and then just growing up, I would big into Incubus, like Foo Fighters, Tool, just all these bands I would listen to, and I was taking drum lessons too. But I would just sit on the drums and put on these records on my headphones and be like, all right, well, this dude can play that, so why can't I? And I would just
Right.
sit there for hours trying to figure out drum parts and fills and just memorizing everything. So I think that's why I'm really good at just like understanding music.
Right.
Like I can go into the studio and just record the whole song with no other instruments playing just because it's ingrained.
That's
you
cool.
know? Just so years of that, and then doing marching band and all that, and
Nice.
then starting bands,
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
now we're here.
I mean, you did that quite a few times on this record.
Oh yeah, I was
wrote-
in Killamouse's kitchen recording drums
Yeah.
Really?
at his
Josh
house.
wrote
Yeah.
most of the songs. I
Really?
would say, yeah. I mean, actually every song, right?
I mean, I wrote a song with Kasdan,
Yeah.
and you definitely helped with like changing some stuff up and making stuff cooler.
Definitely worked
Nice.
on them, but the main idea, Josh pretty much wrote this record. And so he
Mastermind.
would come
Yeah.
in with the, or he would send me a bunch of stuff, and, I'd work on the vocals and stuff. But when we were actually recording, he would come in, and sometimes we didn't have any scratch track, anything that was to click, and he would just go through the entire song, 3.5 minutes. Like,
That's crazy.
and it's really impressive because that's just not how it's done. I mean, you
Right.
always have a scratch track.
Right.
You always have a vocal on there to like know where you are and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's
I feel
crazy.
like the whole album just is this man's brainchild. Like having it, we've talked about it for I don't even know, like a couple years ago, talking about this concept,
Uh-huh.
and so it's cool to see him like these things just flow through him, I guess you would say, and like he manifests these songs in this whole record. And so like getting to be a part of that and like putting your 2 cents towards what
Yeah.
the vision already is really, really cool. So
That's awesome.
props to you, bro.
We can't talk anymore about Josh. He's freaking out.
We
can't talk about
I'm
Josh.
getting all shy.
Stop talking about him.
I just had this idea for so long, so I finally wanted to do it. So it was
Yeah.
really cool. Jake too, just kind of letting me run with it.
Right. That's
and
cool.
him, I guess, trusted me with, putting the songs out. Because like when we were living together, we were jamming in our jam room like a lot. Like,
Right.
he would get off work at midnight. We was working call center or something.
Yeah.
And I'd be drinking an energy drink, just ready for Jake to come home. Be like, jam room, 12:30.
Yeah.
So we
Be
jammed till
there.
like 3 a.m.
That's
And
wild.
It was amazing. We'd just been writing stuff all the time. Now, obviously, we don't live with each other, and there's women involved and babies and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a little different. So I think for the next thing we work on, Jake and I talk, we want to get back to basics of just him and I vibing, drum and bass, and then seeing what happens from there.
Mhm.
I like it. I
Kinda
like it.
creative.
Well, I finally get to talk about it because I say finally, but you sent me the single on Saturday, and it is incredible. It is incredible.
you.
Not only is it incredible, it's produced really well. It sounds really good. The pieces, it flows really well. But I've been dying to talk to you guys because You Bad came out. What was that, like 6 months ago?
Last
Shoot.
September.
Last
Yeah.
September. And
Almost
a year.
Yeah, almost a year
Yeah.
now.
Dang.
What?
Last
Dang.
September.
That's crazy.
What?
And this is so different than that. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, it's the same band, it's the same project, but it is so diverse. And I mean, obviously, with you writing a lot of, where did that come from? You know what I mean? And even in where does this album go? Is it kind of
So-
everywhere? Is it up and down?
A quick spiel on the record. It's called Patterns, and the idea is side A, side B, just like a record.
'Kay.
Side A are songs for a sunny side, and side B are songs for a rainy side, or rainy day. Sorry.
Yeah.
And so, "You Bad" was the first single off the rainy side,
yeah.
and kind of the whole.
The sunny side.
Sunny side.
What do I keep saying?
You said
wrong
rainy
way.
side.
Oh.
You Bad, super happy. Check it
I
out
was
on
gonna
YouTube.
say, I was
Yeah.
like, that's
Fuck
a
yeah.
really happy, sad song.
Black Hole is rainy side.
Yeah,
Okay.
Black Hole is the
Yes,
rainiest.
Definitely.
So yeah, it's definitely a big contrast between the two. The
Vibing.
sunny side
Oh.
is just upbeat and just like fun in the sun type of stuff.
Nice.
Then rainy side is just like a rainy day. You're chilling on your couch watching a movie, or you're on this sweet road trip driving in the rain. I don't know. It could be anything. Whatever
Nice.
people relate to these types of days
'Kay.
is the type of music that they would listen to.
Well, and what do you get? Is there any meaning behind Black Hole? Is it?
Yeah, I would talk to Killer Mouse about that.
Ooh, kill 'em out. I keep looking over here, guys. I'm not ignoring you. I swear. I'm just trying to make sure like our levels are good. I feel
Yeah,
bad.
no,
You're
it's
good.
good.
I'm over this conversation. Yeah. Tell us.
Yeah, so the vibe on it, go for it, because musically and lyrically, I feel like
Yeah.
it both expresses the same vibe.
So Josh sent me the basic instrumentals of it, and he labeled it Black Hole. And so I remember I was actually doing my lawn that day, and he did it, and I always wear my headphones when I'm doing the lawn.
Yep.
So he sent it over to me, and just listening to it, and, you know, because that's the challenges of doing lyrics with, you know, just something that somebody gives you.
Right.
I didn't write this myself, so it was what kind of vibe do you want to go down? And so I was thinking about, he just had implanted that black hole into my mind. So I was like, all right, let's see what this can go. And it ended up being like, okay, well, actually this is really dark, and I've had a lot of friends into opiates and drug addiction and stuff like that. And it kind of sparked that feeling inside of me. And so I decided to kind of dive into that, and just, you know, that feeling of, you know, I've seen my friends down that black hole.
Definitely.
Basically, you know. And so I kind of wanted to bring that all together. And then, you know, in the chorus it says you can get out if you want it.
Yes.
And I've had friends that got out, and
Yep.
because they wanted it. You have to want it.
Yep.
You have to want it really bad.
Yep.
So
Especially being
yeah.
friends with addiction, it's like you can't want them for them. They have to commit to it
Yeah.
themselves. or
Totally.
else,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Totally.
You're just
Exactly.
you're exhausting yourself for no reason because
Mhm.
yep. So
Wait, I thought this was about like outer space the whole time. I'm out. Goodbye.
I thought it was based on Interstellar. I thought I actually was going to talk to you about Matthew McConaughey. I thought maybe you had some sort
That's
of
the deeper meaning.
That's the deeper meaning, right?
Yeah.
That's killer though. That's
no,
well.
yeah,
That's
because it's a really good like we were talking about the album, and you
Mhm.
stopped pointing with my microphone. We were talking about
Feel
the album. It's very much like that duality. I feel like that's
Yep.
a very common theme in my life right now.
mm-hmm.
Just having that both light and dark, and like finding that balance, you know. And so like having the album patterns, and You Bad's a great example of that bright, happy-go-lucky, like positive dance mood, and then
Right.
Black Hole is like the epitome
It's
of dark.
Totally. Totally. Well, that was like I said. That was funny to get it. Was like I remember I put it on right when you sent it to me. I put it on, and I remember I was like with my family, and I was like, you know, thinking it was another dance song. So I put it on. And I got like 5 seconds in, and I paused it, and I was like, I gotta go in the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like I gotta go by myself. Like
I gotta poop.
there's something deeper.
Did
to
our
this.
song make you have to poop? Is
Yeah,
that what
right,
you're saying?
exactly. It's actually yes, it's a great reliever. No, but it was just it was beautiful, and it was very deep, and I just felt like it gave a whole different side to what we had already seen with You Bad. You know what I mean? And like I said, production wise, it's very different than what I feel like. There's a lot of like raw instruments in the past, and a lot of and it was cool to just, I mean, go in depth into the feel of it. It was intense.
Thanks,
That's
man.
awesome.
Well, yeah,
That's
and
the goal.
I think you're gonna see that throughout the entire record. Actually, I mean,
Yeah?
Mhm.
you'll hear some of these songs and be like, "This is the same people doing this."
Dude, we got a
It-
clarinet on a banger.
Damn.
Right? Yeah, Chris from Captain Squeegee. came
Yeah,
and
hell
played some
yeah.
clarinet.
yeah.
You said Chris did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, the sax
dude,
player.
laid
I
it
gotta tell you the
down.
funniest Chris story. One time I was playing Marquee Theater. Shout out to you, Chris, if you hear this. And he was just hanging out in the green room with his saxophone. Just I don't know if he knew somebody there and was able to get in. And he was just sitting on the couch. And I was warming up, and he started playing to me warming up. And I'm like, that sounds really good, man. And he's like, if you want, I'll come up for a song. And I was like, sure, man. Yeah, come up for a song. Come up for a song. He came up for like the third song. And after the song ended, I realized we're better with this guy on stage. So I look at him, I go, you're not going anywhere.
kept him up?
Chris.
Hell
So
yeah.
now there's there were pictures all over the internet of me and Chris, and they're like, Chris is in your band? I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I met him 15 minutes
He was
before
is
that
now.
day.
I don't think I've seen him
That's
since
awesome.
either. You know, it's like,
Right.
all right, bye.
Hell
Dude,
yeah.
that's how it is. Once you get some brass up on a song, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
how does this
Yeah.
exist with
Why have
It's
I
hard to
done
let
music
it go,
without
for
this?
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
That's
Yeah.
killer.
It's seriously.
It's powerful.
So we're going to
He's
go
so
one by
good.
one here. First of all, Black Hole. Check it out right here.
Yeah, please.
The walls are a black hole. Make your way through the darkness. You're in a black hole. You can get out if you want it. I'm talking black hole. Make your way through the darkness.
All right. That was Black Hole. That was
Hey,
intense. Whoa. Whoa.
I can't stop pointing at your camera.
Dude,
I'm sorry.
keep pointing it. I
guys
feel
are
like
buddies.
there needs to be more of that. My long arm, sometimes I reach for it and I'm like, oh god, I need to like
It's like just gonna
stay back,
touch
big
it.
dog.
Your hand is huge.
Keep your ground.
If you don't mind me asking, how tall are you, friend?
6'6".
Nice.
That's the-
Dang.
You
First
come
time I've
off
been
as
asked that
6
on-
foot.
Well, you know the
six.
next question. Did you play basketball?
I love you. Thank you. I thought about getting that tattooed actually when I was younger. Like, no, and
I
yes,
don't,
and
yeah.
6 foot. I did when I was younger, and
Point guard, right?
yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah, I was a little scrawny guy, so that didn't really work out. And then life takes over, and then I don't think I've shot a basketball, and I'm trying to teach my kid now. You know what I mean? It's very
Ooh.
interesting.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh, right, I gotta remember that
Yeah.
form, and
Snap the wrist.
snap the wrist, right? Get that rotation. So
Seriously, with those little kid basketball hoops, though, it like you realize you actually have to shoot well again.
yes, you
'Cause
have
it's
to learn
not
the
easy.
rotation.
Yeah, we got one.
And then all of a sudden
Yeah.
you start getting that feeling again. You're like, okay, now
Follow
I'm
through.
embarrassed.
Now
I
we're
bought my
doing it.
basketball hoop for my son when he was a month old.
Nice.
I like went to Toys R
He's
Us and I was
ready.
like,
It was for you.
today's the day.
It's
Yeah.
for the baby.
Today-
That's the
You're
excuse.
It's like he can't even roll over on his own. I'm like, well,
Yeah,
he'll get there.
you can look at it.
Yeah. Well, so that's perfect transition. What we'll go one by one. What are you guys doing when you're not doing music? I mean, music is a big
Ooh.
part of life, but what is
Besides the family life, I like to garden.
nice?
I
Okay.
got a bunch
Dude,
of sunflowers
green thumb.
growing.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake and I
This.
kind of got started around the same time, really.
Yeah,
like
for sure. But
4
man,
years
you do
ago.
so well.
Well, thank you.
Now, do you do a lot of your own produce? Is it anything specific? What do you?
I mean, like this time of year, I'll start planting like the kale, the lettuce,
Mhm.
all that stuff. I mean, it's kind of like September through April or May is like the good time.
right.
So I've tried to grow stuff in summer. Like I got a pumpkin one year, watermelon and cantaloupe. But dude, it's so stressful trying to grow stuff in the summer here.
Well, what's
It's
funny
just
is,
like-
and this is in no
it's supposed to
comparison
be
to
perfect for cantaloupe.
you. Right.
That's what they said.
Right. Well, and I'm sure it's no comparison what you got, but I have 5 citrus trees in my backyard, and I like water them. I'm out there, like it's like therapeutic for me
Oh,
to
yeah,
go
it's
out there
great.
and like.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the summer, like no matter how much water I give them, they just look terrible. And it's like, dude, go water your
Right.
trees. I'm like, I'm out there every day.
It's a lot. And if you go on vacation, then you stress while you're gone. It's like, oh, my plants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Or
don't
my
need that right
friends, I
now.
need to check on them.
Yeah.
So what else? Anything else?
I mean, music is definitely a big part of my life. I guess video. I mean,
Yep.
we've been doing our own music videos since we started. I love doing music videos. And I think we have a really good thing going with us 3 right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do like storyboards and like build little miniatures. Killer Mouse is doing all the editing, and he's got the nice camera and the lights, and he's doing a lot of the filming. And then Jake's becoming really good at After Effects.
Nice.
So it's just we
Ooh,
kind of
Which,
get
by the way,
the
did you do?
trifecta.
Who did the black hole After Effects?
That was a combo, but he
that
did a
was-
lot of it. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
both of us.
Yeah, they were tag teaming.
That
which
was wild. Well,
sweet.
that'll be out tomorrow, right? So yeah, people
Yeah.
will yeah.
Yeah.
Check it.
Take 2 seconds, flip over real quick, subscribe to their YouTube channel, check that out. You're probably not listening anymore if you're switched over. But, dude, seriously though, the effects, the look of it was
Thanks,
wild.
man.
Especially
Thank
that
you.
one point where you guys were almost like trading places and everything. Like,
Uh-huh.
whew.
If you like that, just wait.
Just I could get a lot of those.
There's gonna be
Yeah,
so
there's
much,
more coming.
Oh.
There's more coming.
Killer,
for
Killer,
sure.
what are you doing when you're not doing music?
Well, family life as well. I have 2 kids, 2 really young kids.
Nice. Yep.
But golf actually. I've
Yeah.
been golfing a lot,
Mm.
and been golfing for about 10 years, 12 years. But just like the beginning of this year, I told my wife, I'm like, I'm gonna go for this a little bit. I kind of want to do a little something on this, and just I love the game.
Yep.
I just, and so it's like I'm gonna put a little bit money into lessons and just try to like, because I know ultimately it's something that I'm gonna be playing till I'm 70.
Totally.
you know,
Totally.
So
Yep.
why not get good at it?
Yep.
Instead
From a
of being
dude who sucks at
frustrated.
golf. this guy's really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. People who are watching, who have watched all these, know that I'm going to challenge him here. You're the third golfer I've had on here, and I
Really?
get all excited because I'm horrible, but I love playing golf, even
Yeah.
if it's a horrible day and I hate myself when I get home. Like it's still just like
Yeah, it's so much fun.
it was green, and I was out there, and
And like even when I'm watching golf, like the PGA or something, it's like I'm jealous, but not because they're better than me, but because they're playing golf right now.
right.
I wish I was out
I'm watching you play
Yeah.
golf. I'm just watching.
I
Which, by the way, I don't know if you saw this weekend, but
It
Tiger
was-
made an appearance, and I watched golf for 3 days this weekend. Like,
It was just really good overall. Even Tiger was obviously awesome, but like
Brooks.
there was so many people at the top of the leaderboard that
Yep.
were just had a chance.
Yep. Brooks
On
Koepka
Sunday.
doesn't get any love.
Brooks Koepka,
You're not going to watch this,
Represent.
but
he gets love.
He
in those
can
arms.
Tag him in
Yeah,
there.
you
Dude,
can
I
tag
told
him
I
now.
told my wife, I was watching. She's
Those
like,
guns.
"Who is that guy?" I was like, "I think he used to be an underwear model. Like he's just built like a rock." And yeah,
Yeah.
man, just some people have it all, I guess.
I know.
Well, I don't want to brag, but the first time Jess, Killer Mouse, and I played golf, I broke a driver.
Wow! Cheers.
Pro.
Wasn't that the first swing actually, or was it the second
I think it was
tee?
the second
That
because
would
I
be
did a
perfect.
warm-up swing,
Yeah,
and then I just
the head just pops right off. Like,
and I
okay.
looked at it, I'm like, can I just throw discs? Like I'm way better at disc golf than
Right,
at ball
I
golf.
can throw the ball. I swear.
Yeah,
I can throw
I
it.
can just huck this thing.
What are you doing when you're not
It was
when you're not
that-
playing music?
So I have an 8-year-old
Nice.
puppy.
Got me. Got me.
Nailed
His
it.
name's Keeley. Hey, beefy boy. I'm engaged, so that's
Nice.
cool.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We're gonna do, the marriage thing here in the next, what is it?
Ten
Join in the
years.
club.
6 months. or
Welcome
so.
to the gang.
Yeah. But besides that, like my fiance and I really like to travel, so we try
Nice.
to do camping as much as we can and outdoor stuff. Messing around Photoshop, I love, and like being on the computer, After Effects and all that is a lot of fun too. But yeah, I would say outdoors and camping is like travel is the biggest thing that we can do, and spend time with family and all that as well.
Nice.
And he rides a motorcycle, guys.
Ooh, yeah, ride motorcycle.
Nice.
Vroom, vroom.
Vroom, vroom.
Yeah, it was something I was always passionate about. Like I always wanted one. Like growing up, we were talking about I grew up out east here.
Yeah.
So like all my friends had motorbikes. And
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, I wish I had a motocross. Like could never get one. Didn't have
Yep.
that kind of money by any means. And so finally when I was 30, when I was 30 years old, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy a
I'm
motorcycle.
gonna buy one. Today's the
And
day.
Yeah, my fiance has always has ridden on motorcycles and
Yep.
always wanted to. So we took like the Team AZ riding course, which if anyone go take that course, they aren't even sponsoring this video right now, but go take that course. It's like $3 and you will feel like Evel Knievel when you leave that class. Like you'll have
Wow.
that confidence.
Yeah.
And so we did that. We both got our endorsements and we both have bikes now. And so we share a car and like both ride when we can. And
That's
dude, it's a lot
killer.
of fun. It's a great way to see the world too, man. It's very cool.
That's awesome. Well, that was crazy when I moved here from Seattle. Was that I didn't live in a state where people could ride motorcycles without helmets, and I was terrified when I got here. I was like, that guy's breaking the law, and that guy, and that guy. Wait a second, like,
All the guys.
all the
Oh.
guys.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Like I'm a huge fan of
That's
all
a
the gear
terrible
all the
idea,
time.
by the way.
Yeah.
Like I see dudes and I just like no. The only thing you need legally is eye protection here, which is insane.
Insane.
So you see people without helmets wearing sneakers or flip flops in shorts and short
yeah.
sleeve shirts, and
Not
I'm
even
like, what
pants.
are you doing with
Your
your
girlfriend's
life?
on the back and like a bikini.
Oh
like
my
you're like, oh
gosh.
my god, like someone is getting hurt.
Yeah, dude, that's what
That's
scares
crazy.
me. Is like wrecks, like running into something is terrifying.
Right.
Road rash is even like cheese grater, dude. Oh no, thanks.
Yeah.
No, no.
So you don't think
Some
about.
behind.
Well, things you're thinking about when you're on two wheels on the
Yeah.
freeway.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
From experience.
I'd be
That's
staring
the
at the
real time.
lines like, oh my god, this is it. Like,
Yeah,
which one am I gonna hit?
90 feels like 115.
It's about the same.
When you see those, like landscape trucks and stuff, and they have all the stuff in the back, and it's just like, I'm not following that.
Final destination.
Yeah,
I'm getting
exactly.
around that as
Just
fast as
exactly.
possible.
It's just waiting to happen.
Well, let's hit a bonus round, fellas. A couple fun questions, a couple out of the box things that we get
Ooh.
from fans, friends. By the way, and I keep meaning to say it, but I keep forgetting. If you have a question, if you don't like my bonus round questions or the ones we've been submitted, Give us some more. We're
What?
always open to
Wait,
suggestions.
where do I submit said
in the
suggestions?
comments of this podcast.
Jake's on it already.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm throwing
It's
them
gonna be
so-
like Jake.
I'm gonna create an account just for
Ask
this.
them. Well, first of all, before I even do that, I'm sorry. One more time. September 28th, album comes out. Album release party,
Yeah,
Valley
baby.
Bar with Hyperbella.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, they are fire.
Yeah,
that
they're
is
one
gonna
of
be a
my
great-
favorite bands right now. I'm so happy that they're on our bill.
Yeah, you guys, that is
Very
going to be
happy.
such a great.
Yeah,
I
it's
will be
killer.
there, so come give me a hug. I'll be there. Bonus questions. Venue you'd like to play someday, anywhere in the world.
Red Rocks. I mean, there's a lot, but yeah, Red
Right,
Rocks.
right, yeah.
Dang, that's
I
hard.
think you just blew a gasket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's real hard. I'm gonna say it, the moon. I want to play on the moon.
I want to be on the moon. I like
Oh, you
that.
said anywhere in the world. Solar system. Anywhere in the
true,
solar
yeah.
system?
Anywhere in the solar system.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll rephrase
Alright,
that
the
question for
moon.
next time. He'll have that corrected in the comments. Say solar system.
I'm trying to
Give
think.
him a chance.
I don't know. Madison Square Garden's always been like just that's like the epitome of like
Yeah.
Jay-Z did that shit.
Or that Dispatch.
Yeah, 2 days
Special,
in
yeah.
Zimbabwe. That was the like one of the
Yeah,
biggest-
that's powerful. That would be sweet.
Do I
Just
need
think,
to
kill 'em
answer?
off.
No, you don't have to answer. We can have. Oh, mutely stop recording automatically.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, you got some think
What's that
time.
one in London? Not Wembley.
We had a nice little pause there.
So what's the one in Colorado that's
That's Red Rock.
that's Red Rocks? What's the one up here in Sedona that's all crazy Red Rocks?
That's just Sedona.
Yeah, I don't.
Isn't there a crazy amphitheater?
I mean, there's the
in
Gorge
Sedona?
in Washington.
I see that.
Right?
I no one's
Is
ever
that
said that, but I've always liked that's mine.
I mean, Dave
Yeah.
Matthews. I have DVDs of Dave Matthews rocking that.
owns
And
that
looks
place.
sweet.
Yeah,
You've
Basically
been
has
there?
his name on it. I have never been to the Gorge. I'm very embarrassed, but
Yeah,
my
that's on the list.
all
for
my
sure.
friends like they have like every summer they all go like it's
That's
for
awesome.
Dave 3 days. You always go and you go 2 days for John Mayer and 2 days for you know what I mean. And like it's just like
It's so crazy that they can do that.
yeah, you just freaking
Yeah, they don't have
Easily.
kids. I
Yeah,
Yeah,
assume.
they don't have kids. Yeah, I got out for a writer's retreat. I got some advice for you. I got out for 2 full days. It was pretty
Yeah?
magical.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
really?
magical.
Nice.
I can help you.
Good for you. All right.
Favorite dessert? We're starting with you since you didn't have an answer for the last one.
Favorite dessert?
There's so many.
What's the weak spot where if I put it here, like no matter how full you are, you're gonna freaking
I mean,
make some room.
as far as ice cream goes, cookies and cream
I knew
is
I loved
really
GD.
just right in my wheelhouse.
Yep.
I actually like white cake more than I like chocolate cake.
Ooh.
Interesting. Okay, I like that.
Is it vanilla? Is white cake vanilla? It's
Is it?
I don't know. It's just
Doesn't
not
taste like vanilla.
no
necessarily.
flavor.
Yeah.
just sponge.
Neither.
Isn't no flavor vanilla?
I don't know. I think it's vanilla.
And then I do
If it's
like
Do
vanilla-
they call it a
if
no
it's vanilla,
flavor
then it's
bean
just
or a
like-
vanilla bean?
sour bright crawlers.
Oh,
You like the sour?
I go to
yeah,
gas station
okay.
to get those.
Yes,
So I
yep.
guess that'd be
What
one.
you got, Josh?
Cheesecake for sure.
Cheesecake. Yeah. Now just like plain cheesecake, or do you want some fruit on there?
Yeah, a raspberry or strawberry. I really like. I just don't like regular cake.
Yeah. Okay. I
Like
can do
my
that.
stomach, cupcakes, cake. My stomach does not agree. Donuts.
What about pie?
So I like pie.
You can dig
Pie.
pie.
I love pie. Apple pie.
Not a
for
lot of
sure.
bread in there.
Peach
It's
pie.
like-
Mhm.
It's more fruit.
Peach cobbler.
Just
I
lots
guess
of
it'd be.
sugar.
Right. Just.
Yeah. Yeah. My
and
body's
you
weird.
said cookies and cream also.
That's ice cream, but the Italian in me says cannolis.
Okay.
All
oh,
day. Like,
nice.
just
Oh,
slap
yeah.
all you 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, all night. All night. That's hilarious. Artists you like to play a show with? I say live or dead at the end. I always feel very morbid when I say that.
The question
Well,
is,
and that really
do we
opens up
play-
a lot.
where are we going?
do we play with the dead person if they were alive or as a dead person?
Josh Bierman said. Josh Bierman came on the podcast.
Like zombie
and
Michael
he was
Jackson.
like, dude, if I brought back like a band that was all dead, I'd sell the place out.
It'd be
Like
the
I'm like,
Grateful
well,
Dead.
you know what I
I
mean?
have
Like,
to see that.
you know, yeah, people would pay to see Michael Jackson come back and play, you know,
Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead.
and the Grateful Dead. Yes,
Killing it.
Sorry.
Josh.
I mean, I think my biggest influence has always been Incubus.
Yep.
Just like they have such a special place in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And like I have all their DVDs. When I was a teenager, I just watch them, like
Yep.
them on a tour bus. I don't care what they're doing. It was cool.
Yep.
So
Hell
yeah, I'll go with Incubus. You gotta decide.
I like that.
I'm gonna go with alive because I feel like if you go with dead, there's a lot.
There's
That
a
I
lot
would
of
That's
lines.
true.
You're gonna leave
Yeah.
somebody out.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think live, I would say Spoon.
Ooh, I like that.
I think they just there's some kind of kindred spirit there with me that
Yep.
they just click.
Yep.
And
Speak to you.
yeah, like I feel like the Kubiku music too. Like
I was
it's
just gonna tell you,
very similar.
I feel like when you said that, it made sense because
Yeah.
I look forward to talking about Kubiku afterwards. But
Yeah.
it's funny that Spoon is something that really.
It-
I-
yeah.
That's good. I like that.
It's like Kubiku and Spoon, just Spoon. They just fit.
They just fit.
They just
It actually
fit.
was called Kubi Spoon before, but they actually changed it afterwards because it was a little too close.
Or Spoon Kubi.
Yeah, Spoon.
I like that. Well, Spoon's
Uh,
Kubi.
I would have to say if I had to go with one, it'd be Frank Zappa. and
Yeah.
Mothers, yeah.
Mhm.
Just
Oh, yeah.
very much so. Like it'd be
That's
me
a good
trying
one.
to keep up the whole time. just like,
Seriously.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
oh,
I'm
so
sorry.
God.
Time signatures.
But may I do that? Would be a trip. That would be a
Mhm.
trip.
Yeah.
Favorite venue you've played so far?
Ooh.
I would say the Orpheum Theater.
Oh yeah.
I played
Mm.
there with the Wiley ones, opening up for Slightly Stupid, and it was sold out. There was like 1,400 people there, and it was one of the best nights
That's
ever.
wild.
It
Yeah,
was
ever.
insane. Like,
That's
and we did
wild.
little solos in one of the songs, and I just remember in my head, it's like, all right, you're about to do a drum solo in front of a lot of people. Like, let's do it. Let's do it right.
Let's do it
Let's do it right. Yeah.
Let's do this correct.
And it was great. It was amazing.
It's not the biggest one, but I honestly feel like Valley Bar is just one of the coolest venues around. I mean, just the vibe that they have, and you only need 200 people to make it feel like
Yeah.
this thing is bopping.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
Definitely.
just a lot of fun.
I feel like Valley Bar is a cool venue that it almost has its own feel. Like no matter what type of music, when I walk in and see there, you know you're in Valley Bar when you walk in. Like
Yeah.
you're like there's like that homey feel. You're underground.
Yeah.
It kind of
Just
gets
those
cold down
stairs
there.
you
know what I
feel,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, you just you know when you're at
Yeah.
Valley Bar, like, and honestly, I've never seen a bad show at Valley Bar. Luckily to this point, so I
Yeah,
just know
same
it's
here.
like somebody's about to rock my face. Like,
yeah.
freaking
It's,
kill.
it's fun.
Mine, acoustically or sound wise, is Last Exit Live. Like the
Yes.
sound at that joint, you guys are doing it
Brian,
right.
Yeah, Brian.
jeez
Brian's the
Louise,
man.
You're a machine.
Besides that, like
Yeah.
that's just sound. Like I love. Hopefully they keep getting more and more foot traffic down there. Like
Yep.
that's what I hope for them. But I think my favorite venue that we've played, Sail In. That's where we did our first
That's my
release.
second.
Gina!
For sure.
And that's where we had all the homies, and it was just such a good vibe in that place. You
Yep.
know, Soundman
Yeah.
Ken,
Ken.
the greatest jokes.
Yes.
known to
Oh my
dads.
God. He would tell me. So I have this like I used to have this not a horrible problem, but I used to cover Tom Petty like every show. I find a
Nice.
way like. I don't know what Petty song we're doing, but we're
Sneak
doing
it
one
in.
tonight. And then he would always, every show, I knew he'd walk up and be like, "Hey man, you committed petty theft tonight." I'm like, and I
Dude,
knew
that's
every time,
perfect
like,
example of
here
it.
comes
He'll tell you
Ken,
the
here
same
comes Ken,
joke.
here
I
comes
love it.
Ken. I love him.
Yeah.
I
I
freaking
love
love him. Well,
Oh.
and yeah, I had so many good memories there and so many good times, whether it was on the inside stage or
Same
the
here,
outside
dude.
stage.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
There's
it
something
didn't
in the
matter.
atmosphere there.
There's a-
so sad when it closed.
yeah, there's a Death Cab song just came out called Gold Rush, and it's talking all about like storing memories in places that like you hold like true memories, and then those places go away, and like where does your memory go?
Yeah.
You know, and like that
That's
Sailing
cool.
is one of those places.
Yeah.
Big Fish Pub, I probably was on there a little bit
Big
too.
Fish,
Back in the
yeah,
day.
the
Good shows
A lot
there.
of good nights in that
Man.
place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never remember leaving that place, but you know, it was
Yeah.
just shit
I
face.
just yeah, I
That
just
was a
remember
party.
like you
Just
tried to
shit,
leave
man.
and you'd get by like the pool tables and then you're like out.
Yeah. Exactly. Two
I
more for
remember
ya.
the pool tables.
Yes, yes, the pool tables. What are you guys listening to right now? Anything good and new you're listening to? You want to plug?
There's this chick, I don't want to butcher it, Khadijah Bonet.
Okay.
She's just, I can't even explain her sound. It's just like this African and like old school, and there's just so many things going on. So I would check her out.
Okay.
I heard her on the radio at Pita Jungle and just like Googled it. You
Shazam
know?
that.
Yeah.
Get that one lyric down.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So her, and then I don't know who else, man. A lot. I've been listening to a lot of Dispatch lately.
Yep.
Dude, I feel like
They put
that's
out a
always
new
on my
EP.
playlist.
Is that
Dispatch,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, they're
Like,
just continuously
new,
putting out
old.
good music. Well, they just put out, so they did America Location 12, which was their album like a year ago.
Right.
And they just released a 6-song EP, which is America Location 13, 6 songs. It's kind of like the leftovers from the record.
Mm-hmm.
And you
killer.
just wonder how they're leftovers, you know?
Right.
They just
Like,
had
let me
so
in
many
on that.
songs.
Let me
and
in on that.
Yeah, they weren't like Outkast putting on a 22-track album. They're like, right, we're gonna split this bad boy up.
yeah. And if they like it, we'll give them some more.
yeah, and it's great.
You guys got?
Dude, something I got that's old that I just stumbled upon because I'm a huge fan of the band.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they used to back Dylan.
Yeah.
And so there's a live album called, I think, Before the Flood.
Yeah.
And it's the band and Bob Dylan live, and it's just warms my heart. Like, it's 20-something tracks of band songs, Bob Dylan songs, like, just mixed, and it really, really.
I haven't heard that.
There's a Tom Petty documentary. I don't know if you've seen it, but he talks about the Heartbreakers toured with Dylan for a while, and they decided, he basically was like, you guys can come on tour with me, but you guys are gonna be my backing band.
Nice.
And they were like, okay, cool. But they said when you go on tour with Dylan, every night's a different thing.
Oh,
tonight I could be like, dude, you're not playing drums for 3 songs, and you know what I mean? Like, just mix it up and like slow it down tonight. And it was just like, okay. And there were videos of him like they kick into a big song, and he'd turn around and he'd tell all of them like, stop. You know what I mean? Like, not tonight, not tonight. It was just like,
that's crazy.
That was okay. There's some Dylan doc where he was talking about that too, where he's just like, I'll sing the songs faster, slower, a different swing on the lyrics because I don't want people singing the songs to me.
Interesting.
And so he would do it just to like mess with people, or like I forget what it is when he even did the transition from acoustic to electric.
Yeah.
He came out with the electric guitar, and people would boo him, like, because they wanted the folky Bob Dylan. And he's like, all right, we're gonna do one that you guys really like. And he turns around and goes, okay, play this motherfucker, and just goes into electric guitar like, screw you.
But
man.
I remember when Jack Johnson picked up an electric guitar, people lost their goddamn minds.
Yeah.
People just don't like
It's
change.
weird.
They
It's like you can't evolve as an artist. I don't get it.
My dad always told me when I was a
Yeah.
kid, like,
Wow.
if you really like an artist, let them be whatever. You know what I mean? They're going to have some phases where you're like, that's not for me. You know what I
ZZ
mean?
Top, the 80s, not for me.
Not for me. Which, by the way, I've seen them quite a few times.
Dude, I love them.
Oh, my God.
They made it through the 80s. Bless their heart.
Yeah, straight up. It was a rock band through the
Synth
80s.
bass.
Yeah, that was
Damn.
That was brutal.
Great.
Last question for you. Favorite TV show or movie or really anything you guys are watching right now?
Ooh.
This is literally my favorite question of the show.
Watching, I mean, favorite ever is Breaking Bad.
Yep.
I am so in love with Breaking Bad. It's ridiculous. And actually, I've watched it every summer since it's came out, and this summer I didn't. So
all right, Josh, you're coming to tomorrow night. We're going to fire this bad boy up.
You can borrow my DVDs, dude. I got it all. I got
I'm pretty
it.
sure it's on Netflix by now.
Yeah.
This is the worst game for me. The what are you watching? Have you seen game? I'm awful.
You don't do any TV.
You started
movies
watching
either?
some
We
stuff.
started watching,
didn't you?
yeah, we started, like, my lady and I started getting into some things, but like.
Weren't you watching Sons of Anarchy?
No,
First of all,
she watches.
You're
that.
engaged.
Okay.
When you're engaged, don't you just watch TV? That's all we do.
No.
When I was engaged, that's like all we did was like Netflix and
It's kind of a big deal.
you know
Yeah.
talking about the budget. You know.
I'd say for me, we've been finishing up the latest season of Westworld, which
Oh, I've heard good
is.
things.
Oh my
It's just-
gosh.
They're getting into such a point now where it's like, I have no idea what just happened.
I
I don't know if it's all going to come back around and make sense.
Yeah,
but
might,
like,
might not.
Well, what's funny with that show is there's some people who just watch it because it's a really good TV show. They're like, it's really good. There's good acting. The story's kind of cool. And there's some people who understand like the depth of these characters and these storylines and the integration of like faith backgrounds and like.
I feel like if you did a bubble chart, it would just be like 8 feet
Bubbles
long.
for
Just what is going on? This line hits here. And
Yeah.
this. So,
Well, I have a
yeah,
friend
it's
who
pretty
she's
insane.
like, I listen to a Westworld podcast, and I'm like,
What?
Westworld podcast. I look at it; it's like 4 hours long each episode, and then
Oh,
I
I
thought about it. I
bet.
was like, you probably could break that down.
Are they just
Yeah.
analyzing like
Just
the show?
analyzing every.
You probably
little-
need that. for
It's.
that show.
You ever seen it? Anything?
I saw an episode. It's
Okay.
something about like people go into some virtual reality world and pretend they're Wild West. I grew up in Arizona. We live the fucking Wild West.
Basically, you can do
ain't
whatever
gotta
you want,
pretend.
and
Somebody-
you see some
yeah.
real
It's
character
basically
problems.
that robots are now so advanced that they're human-like. And
Oh,
what is that?
Yeah.
What happens with
maybe
that?
it's already happening.
If robots are real,
Maybe
then
you
what does
are.
that mean about your existence?
Maybe you're a
What does that
host.
say about yours?
You're nothing.
Maybe you're just a host.
A
Whoa.
lot and nothing at the same.
Someone that is at their computer right now, like, oh my gosh, this is so real.
Well, I did start watching
Mind
something. It's
melting.
not really new.
Okay.
They have reruns of Supermarket Sweep.
I
Are you
used to
talking about
watch
on
that.
Buzzer?
Yeah, dude.
Back in the
It
day.
was so good.
Yeah.
We
I
watched
used
a
to
lot
watch
of PBS. We watched basic
Yeah.
cable,
Oh, yeah.
man.
Mhm.
It's really
Paw
good.
Patrol.
Oh my god,
Um,
Paw Patrol! I was laughing with my wife, and I was like, I think in the last 3 months, I've sang the Puppy Dog song
Yeah.
more times than anything else, and our camera just died.
Dang, we did that
That's
good.
it.
We nailed it.
Well, we're still recording the audio though, huh?
Well, rookie mistake, y'all. Camera died, and honestly, once we had the camera die, looked at the clock and realized Scattered Melodies was late to band practice. So we went ahead and sent them on their way. Seriously, one of the best talks I feel like I've had on this podcast. Some great guys, great energy, great music. And if you're still listening to the podcast, shoot us a message on Instagram. Code word patterns. First 3 people, I'll shoot you some music from a few of the artists on the podcast so far who've given us some music to give away. Love people who stick it out to the end. Yeah, as we say in closing every week, do something to make the world a better place. Be the change in your community. Be the change in your friend group and your family. As Rob Bell says, surrender your agenda to what's happening in the room. And yeah, so have a great week. Check out Scattered Melodies music. Check them out on YouTube. Their new music video for Black Hole is out. And yeah, September 28th, they will be at Valley Bar with Hyperbella for their CD release, Patterns. It's going to be incredible. Have a great week. And, yep, later, y'all.